set. I can't stop hustling every minute, every second. Can't stop.
A brand new U.S. champion crowned at WWE Crown Jewel, Ric Flair's AEW deal, and a former champion returns to WWE. All this and more, with possible cocaine references, on this new, returning episode of Shot of Brew. What's going on, party people? Been a long time. Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two, step two, step two, step two, think it's step two. But we're back, baby. Per norm, you know, it's your bro, Yellow Boy for Bros, Brews, and Botches, and this here is a Shot of Brew where we give you a shot of news from the wrestling world. So if you watch the channel update, you know I'll only be doing these twice a month. They'll still be about 10 to 15 minutes long, and we'll only cover the previous week. However, we'll still try to put out major wrestling news on the IG page, so make sure you check that out. And before we get going, make sure that you like, share, subscribe, and comment, and help your bros out. And as always, I do this for you, the people. You people. But without further ado, let's get to some news. A brand new United States champion was crowned at this weekend's Crown Jewel in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So during Saturday, November 4th's WWE Crown Jewel event, we witnessed YouTuber, boxer, and now pro wrestler Logan Paul defeat Rey Mysterio to win the U.S. title, making it Paul's first title victory in the WWE. The match, in my opinion, wasn't one of Paul's best, and he seemed to have someone who watched a lot of Hangman Page coach him with the amount of similar moves through the match. However, the finish came after someone from his team brought brass knuckles, and Paul subsequently used those brass knuckles to KO Mysterio for the win. Now, in an interview from ESPN moments after the match, Paul reported in regards to being around more in the WWE, quote, "I think I have to." He followed saying, "You will have to watch Raw. You're going to have to watch SmackDown. I'm going to make some surprise appearances and show these wrestlers who the real king is." During the interview, he was also asked about feuding with Bad Bunny, who also competed in the WWE. Now, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com had an idea of having Logan Paul feud with LA Knight, who wrestled in a losing effort in the main event at Crown Jewel. Now, would you guys like to see Logan Paul feud with LA Knight, or who would you like to see Logan Paul feud with in the future? And who do you think should take the title off of him? Make sure you comment below. Next up, in some AEW news, Ric Flair's AEW deal. Now, on October 25th episode of Dynamite, we found out Sting's gift from Tony Khan was none other than the Nature Boy himself, Ric Flair. Now, on this past Thursday, November 2nd, it was announced that Flair was signed to a multi-year contract with All Elite Wrestling. Part of the contract revealed that Flair's energy drink was named to be the official drink of AEW. Now, per WrestleZone, and those close to Flair, his contract is similar to Randy Macho Man Savage's Slim Jim deal with WCW in the mid-90s. Now, the deal with Savage, Eric Bischoff claimed, brought him to WCW and had substantially covered what it took to pay the Macho Man. Now, despite this, wrestling fans took to social media to display their displeasure with the Flair addition. Only weeks ago, Khan had made disparaging comments regarding the sexual misconduct charges brought against Vince McMahon. Now he's bringing in Ric Flair, and fans called out TK in the hypocrisy of hiring Flair. Now, some of you may know, Flair was to be a part of AEW earlier in 2021, the bad years, but the release of Vice's Dark Side of the Ring, Plane Ride from Hell, episode exposed many of the alleged sexual misconducts, of which Flair has denied. Now, currently Flair is in the storyline with Sting, who has announced his retirement after Revolution 2024, but it is also inferred that Flair will continue with a different storyline post Sting retirement. So we'll just look to see what happens with Ric Flair. And how do y'all feel about Ric Flair coming back in AEW? Moving on, in more WWE news, in addition to the Shock title change, we did have a return. So it was reported on Thursday by WrestleVotes that KAIRI was added to the internal roster. Now we've seen this come to fruition, as in the title match between Bianca Belair and Io Sky, the Pirate Princess made her return and aided the champion Sky to retain the title. Now from Fightful.com, that is, Sean Ross app, KAIRI's deal was done months ago, as were Lexis King, formerly known as Brian Pillman Jr., and Nia Jax during the unofficial hiring freeze with WWE after it ended. So Fightful also confirmed something from Reddit insider named Kermit, that's 2 R's, which was that there were also discussions within WWE of more names joining Sane and Sky. This can also be inferred by Bayley's reaction when Sane showed up, as she looked as if it wasn't part of the plan. So we'll see how all this will come together as the weeks continue. But speaking of that possible faction, another former WWE star could be making a return. This is also coming from via Fightful.com, Sean Ross app. He noted that during his Crown Jewel post-show that WWE is interested in bringing back Japanese talent Sarai, or known in WWE as Sarai. Now, Saray's last match was in 2022 in a losing effort to Mandy Rose. Remember her? Sarai has since been working with various promotions in Japan under her former name Sarai. And again, as stated before in the previous story, there's been different reports that stating that Io and Sane will be forming a new group. And while Sarai could be in that group, she is currently an option. Now, another name being tossed around for this group is also Asuka, Japanese connection. So nothing has been etched in stone, and we'll keep you up to date as the news continues to develop. Now, in some weird final news, NWA may have fumbled the ball with their television deal with the CW. Now, this report comes from the Wrestling Observer, old Dave Meltzer now. And for those who did not know, last weekend, October 28th, the NWA held their pay-per-view NWA Samhain. I hope I'm saying that right. So it was during this show that manager Father James Mitchell was shown at a table in the crowd with several wrestlers and women snorting cocaine and drinking alcohol.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Of course, if you haven't seen it, this clip has made its rounds around the week during the week on social media. And according to Nick Hausman of House of Wrestling, CW officials were not happy with this in light of their new deal that was set to bring both NWA Power and a reality show to their network. It's reported that there is now a 90% chance both shows will air on the CW's app versus their broadcast television due to the negative impact from social media from that segment. Now, it's also reported that the idea of the segment came from NWA owner Billy Corgan, who, quote, pushed it to be on pay-per-view, end quote. Very unfortunate news from, a strange segment. If you've seen it, you've seen it. There's some pictures that I posted or that I put up over there. So go check out the video. It's wild. But we'll make sure to keep you up to date on NWA's future television deals as it continues to go. So that was the news, and some news it was. Remember, as always, to do your part with liking, sharing, and subscribing. And since there were no comments or questions in our community section this week, I just kind of did the normal format that I always done with 5 news stories. But in the future, I hope to kind of answer your questions that you may have for me. Just make sure it's nothing too difficult, as I'm just aggregating news and I don't report it. So, but still ask your questions and I'll give you my opinion on it. Also, make sure that you follow the bros Our link tree will be in the description below. And also make sure to follow our affiliates, Elevated Creations for all your B3 merch, and DJ L-Spade for the music. And currently DJ L-Spade is working on another movie, and his details for that movie should be coming in the coming months, but we'll keep you up to date on that because we know you like that DJ L-Spade. Also, be sure to check out the homie Over Here Boy with Mag Out Mondays and Sips, and that's on Mondays and Thursdays respectively. And then check out your homie Hogs Wars with his Twitch plays on Sundays and Mondays to watch him play some of your favorites. And as I said before, make sure that you're commenting with some suggestions on either beers or games for either of those guys to drink or play so that you can be a part of this whole thing because they want you to. So anyway, this has been your boy Yellow Boy with a Shot of Brew. It's great to be back, but until next time, we love you, and we out.
From sunrise to sunset, I can't stop hustling. Every minute, every second, can't stop hustling. From sunrise to sunset,